Hello and welcome to Kaleidoscope Teen Radio, which is the podcast for Kaleidoscope Teen Magazine. Kaleidoscope Teen Magazine is an online magazine and digital platform made by and for girls of color. Today we're interviewing the Girl of the Month for our 7th issue, Drew Townsel. Drew is a freshman at Loyola Marymount University, also where I go to school, and the founder and CEO of Intersect Magazine. She is such an inspiration. I'm so excited to have her here with me today. Hi, Drew. How are you?
Hi, Gabby. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Okay, so let's start with Intersect Magazine. What is Intersect Magazine and how did you come up with the idea for this magazine?
So, Intersect Magazine is my digital publication where all things music intersect. So, a blog, online magazine type feel, kind of like what you're doing. But basically, we write music reviews, editorials, news posts, written interviews, and then we have a YouTube channel called Intersect TV, and that's where we do all of our broadcast stuff, like eventually a podcast. And right now we have video reviews and video interviews. I started Intersect when I was at a music festival called Lyrical Lemonade Summer Smash in Chicago. And I have a friend of my family, and I would go with him to a lot of music festivals and stuff. And because he's in management, I would typically like be in the artist section, and I just realized like how much of like a community the music, like everyone that was like there like was in, like everyone like knew each other for something. And I just like, I'm very impulsive, so I was like, I want to be a part of this. So I went home and immediately like started my blog Intersect Magazine. I had already had a different blog. It was called We Are Elise, which is like my middle name, and it was like exceeding limitations and self-expression. And it was kind of like Kaleidoscope. It was like girl stuff and like female empowerment and stuff like that. And I feel like one thing led to the next, you know what I mean? Like I'm a big believer in that. And so I stopped that and then started the Intersect stuff and wrote a review of that festival and then just kept going. So now it's been like almost 2 years. And instead of me doing everything by myself, I have like a whole team now. We have an editor-in-chief and we have a chief content officer, and then we have a host for Intersect TV, and we have like a bunch of interns that write for us. So it's great.
That's really amazing. You talked about in the beginning how you did like start Intersect Magazine by yourself. How was that experience, like managing all those different parts?
Yeah, so it wasn't tough because I loved what I was doing. And I'm the type that if I like care about something, I'm gonna like dive into it completely.
Mm-hmm.
So I really care about music. So I typically dive in really hard, sometimes putting like a lot on myself. Hard at the time, but it wasn't hard because I didn't have a lot else going on. I was a senior in high school. So like senior in high school, it's not like that much work compared to like college work and internships or jobs that you're doing in college.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't really bad. I had fun. I had a few people that also went to school with me that kind of would write something every once in a while, people who are also interested in music. But I think the best part of it is that even though I don't want to pursue a career in music journalism, I got a lot of experience with that. And that's what led me to participate in this program called Grammy Camp by the Recording Academy. And it was like, I was in the music journalism track because they saw like all of the journalism work. Like you're supposed to submit like an article, and I just like submitted my whole website, and I'm like, take me.
Um, while you were growing Intersect Magazine those past like 2 years, did anyone help you during your process to get it up and running and to grow your following for readers like on the magazine and also on Instagram?
Yeah, totally. So obviously, of course, my parents for financially supporting like whatever needs to be done, because what people like, to be very transparent, you don't make money off of blogs for a while. You don't make money off of YouTube channels for a while. You have to monetize it. You have to get a certain amount of like traffic to have a certain amount of like ad revenue coming in and stuff like that. So it's something that when it gets to a certain point, it can stay there and keep going up and like be very steady. But it takes like at least 2 years typically to get to that point. And then for someone who's not like Kourtney Kardashian starting Poosh, like it's gonna take long. But yeah, it's just like it takes money to back it up. So it takes money for the domain. It takes money for our emails that are on the domain. It just takes a lot of money. And so I think I'm really glad that my parents like helped with that. Um, Also, I pay a couple employees, but don't make money off of Intersect yet. So paying for that as well. I also will give it up to Kate Gallagher. She like was one of the first people who wrote for me, and she helped so much contributing. And then our editor in chief right now, Maya, she's so helpful. I right now am interning somewhere, have a job, school. I really couldn't put like a lot of it like work in Intersect this past semester, but she graduated from Boston University with a degree in journalism, and she's just amazing. She's like managed the whole staff and everything. And yeah, so those are kind of the biggest ups.
Um, so what difficulties have you faced while running Intersect Magazine and how did you overcome those?
Yeah, you get down on yourself sometimes when you feel like something's not being recognized or not blowing up the way that you want it to be. So it's hard with things like this because for it to blow up, it just takes a while, like I was saying before. And it's like it takes the right connection. So it takes doing an interview with someone big. It takes having like a article about someone big that they posted on their story. It takes a lot of dependence on other people as well. And so sometimes you can look at it like, oh my gosh, like I don't have those connections yet. So it's not going anywhere. But something that I always do is like, you have to take control of what you can control and you can control yourself. So it's like, okay, well, what can I do to push it there faster? So there's, of course, been obstacles like where I was like, oh my God, like this is so annoying. But you have to like realize what you can do to fix those in entrepreneurship because like that's just going to be like never ending. And it's like, it takes a different type of person to be an entrepreneur though, which like
Yeah.
you understand because like, honestly, it's just, you don't have other people at a company being like, okay, like go, like it's all you. If you don't work hard, you're not going to make money. If you don't work
Right.
hard, you're not going to accomplish what you want to accomplish. So it takes a certain type of like grind. So of course there's been obstacles, but it's always been just like, okay, reboot. Okay. Instead of being sad that our traffic was down this month, I need to write a post every day this week. You know what I mean? Or
Mm.
instead of being sad that we haven't gotten a lot of interviews, I need to send out like 50 emails this week so that I can get maybe 5 responses from artists because that's just how it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely understand that. What have been some of your successes while running Intersect Magazine?
Definitely some successes would be, I'd say our biggest content pieces. So we did an interview with Chase the Money, who's a big producer out of Atlanta. We did an interview with Memo 600, who is signed to Lil Durk and OTF, and he is from Chicago. We did an interview recently with LeBand. He's a rapper out of Chevelport, Louisiana, I think. And I say those are big because they popped off pretty well. But not only even things that popped off, I'm gonna say that also certain interviews that because like interviews can do numbers even if they're not good interviews because people care about that artist. But I'd say a really important interview to me was with an up and coming artist. Her name is Kennedy, and it's spelled Kennedi. And she was super cool. And it was one of those like interviews where it was like a conversation and we connected a lot because we talked about 11/11. And then she showed me her 11/11 tat. And then I was like this. And then like
Oh,
the whole interview was just like
wow.
perfect. And I was like, I'm not even a journalism person, but it's like, because I get irritated every time I have to interview someone. I'm being honest because it's just like you have to talk. And then when I first started putting interviews out on Intersect, I got a lot of like hate in the comments. People were like, oh, she's not good. She looks irritated. So I don't really like doing interviews, but it's like the ones that you really connect with people, like it feels really good. So Kennedy and then Chanel Jolie, she was fabulous. Like those are my favorite interviews and just like big success moments because I felt like I was doing something important.
I love that. I love that. And interviewing is definitely hard and definitely a skill I'm still working on. Like, it's kind of like strange when you just meet the person and you just have to like find that dynamic, and sometimes it's off and it just doesn't work. And so it's so difficult sometimes to get that through.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Um, So what is your vision for Intersect Magazine in like the next year, 2 years, maybe 5 years?
Yeah, so we're doing pretty good. Our socials have gone up pretty well, or at least Instagram. We haven't really pushed Twitter. I'm not a Twitter girl, so I'm gonna have to find someone who knows how to push that. But I have almost 10K on Instagram, like 9.5 or something like that. But definitely to push over that 10K on social media, because social media is pretty important. Get it to maybe around like 15K, that would be awesome. And then traffic up on the website. And then I really want Intersect TV and our watch list to pop off. So I'll talk about the watch list real quick because I talked about Intersect TV, but the watch list is a place where up and coming artists get featured a couple times a week. And we just write feature posts about them in like a good song that they put out or like a good mixtape or something that like definitely shows who they are, you know what I mean, and like their talent, and just like a short paragraph that like highlights that. And basically the point of it is to have press up there for up and coming artists, like to have something come up when you search their name, you know what I mean, because that's important. It's important in the signing process. It's just important for people to like want to work with you and just notoriety and everything. And so we scout people out. We have like an A&R, so that's like artists and repertoire at a label, but like we have that on our like magazine team who like finds up and coming talent. And then also we have a submissions page, so it's intersectmagazine.com/submit, and literally anyone can submit their music to there and we'll put a post up. It might take a week or two, but we'll put a post about it. It's free press. So I really want that to pop off and like us be known for that, because I think it's so important that like all artists should be able to tell their stories, not just Meg and Mulatto and like people who are popping off.
I really like that. Um, what is your favorite thing to do in Intersect Magazine? Like, is it social media? Well, not interviews because you said you don't like doing those. Writing like music reviews, writing editorials. Like, what part do you enjoy the most?
And favorite is definitely writing music reviews. I think I'm pretty good at it. It's like I like writing and editorial journalism way more than I like broadcast journalism. Actually, I don't know. I don't know because I don't mind broadcast journalism. It's just like I think I'm in this grinding stage where I'm kind of just like grinding and like figuring it out. So sometimes I'm like, it's a way more work mindset than a fun mindset. So it's like, because I like being in front of the camera, but I'm not sure that like I love doing these interviews. Like that's just kind of the easiest way for me to put it. But I definitely would say that I love writing so much. And so I love writing the music reviews because we have like our own method that we write them, and like I created the template or whatever, and it's like
Mhm.
we calculate and do like an average score between each category, and it's like we do the sound, the rapping or singing, and then we do the art behind the albums, so like the meaning and stuff and like how the tracks flow together, and then we give like a total score. And I just love it because I haven't seen anyone else do it before, and I just like kind of mastered writing like that. And I have like a few reviews that I think were really good, and I think that was the Life is Good one with like Drake and Future. And then hold on, Life is Good. This past Playboy Cardi one that I just did like a week ago because people were like F whole lot of red, but I'm like, it's actually not terrible. And then a Pop Smoke one after he passed away. And so I love doing music reviews. Like I'll do those forever. Like, yeah.
Were you writing music reviews before Intersect Magazine, or is this like a new thing?
No, I wasn't writing like anything. So no, yeah. I was a really good writer in school. And that's when I started like my girl blog. And then I switched and started this, but I wasn't doing any review stuff. So I created like my own template. The first review I ever wrote was the review of the festival that made me want to work in music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How do you manage your time between school, the magazine, and other commitments? Because coming from a fellow founder of a magazine, I know it's a lot of work. So how do you like manage that time?
Sheesh. I don't even know. I don't even know. Um, I don't know. That's honestly like, to be completely honest, like it's a lot. And it depends because everything's different day to day. So like, I intern at like a record label, 10K Projects, and then I work for Sony. I think everything, it just depends on like what's going on that week. Because in music, it's like it can be dead periods, and then it can be a period where, okay, Trippie Redd's dropping an album. So Drew, you need to freaking write the lyrics out for every single song on Pegasus. And Pegasus had over 20 songs, and it's like you have to sit there and transcribe lyric. Like it's like it can be, yeah, it can be times where there's nothing, and then it can be times when there's like everything. And so sometimes it's fine, and then sometimes it just really takes like putting in overtime and putting in hard work, because you have to get stuff done. And I'm a best believer of like, you have to just like finish whatever you commit to. So it's been a lot of nights last semester where not even school related, I was like up all night trying to finish stuff because I needed to have something done, like budgeting, invoices, just like little stuff. Like here, let's see, my planner is very helpful because now I can write everything out. I didn't have that for a while and I was kind of sporadic, but like my planner and my Google Calendar, like everything, because it reminds me of so much stuff. And sometimes I feel really scattered, but I think it's just believing that you can get stuff done and like noticing that like it's all going to pay off in like later. I feel like I'm blabbing a lot, but I think a way to kind of just like put it in a concise way would be like, you're not growing if you're comfortable. So the fact that I was very uncomfortable when I first started off doing a bunch of stuff, and like I'm still kind of uncomfortable now because I'm used to stuff, but it's still just a lot of stuff going on. And I recently took on another role. So it's like, if you're comfortable, you're just not growing, because as soon as you put yourself in a place of like, you have to adapt and develop like those skills, then like you'll force yourself to be used to that. That's the best way to put it.
That's very, very true. Pushing yourself out of your comfort zone definitely will like help you grow as a person and also your business. Like I know in 2020, like I really like pushed myself out of my comfort zone with this Kaleidoscope Teen Magazine, because
Yeah.
in the beginning, it was just hard for me to like actually start it and to like go out there and be like, I'm actually going to start this. I'm actually going to push myself to like be a leader, start this whole business. And it was scary too, but I think
especially because
like
you're putting content out for
yes.
people to judge and see. People are mean.
Definitely nerve-wracking, but I think it definitely pays off in the long run. So we're gonna like switch to like college. So how has your experience been in college on Zoom?
It's been good. I actually love LMU. And to say that I love LMU without being there in person is like big, because I haven't even walked the campus. I didn't get to visit because I was planning on visiting for the first time during Black Student Overnight, and we didn't get Black Student Overnight. So never been on campus, passed it multiple times, been to LA multiple times, but never actually seen the campus. But I still love LMU because I loved every professor that I had. I got lucky. I know that's not the case with everyone, but I had great professors, and I think the workload wasn't awful. I know that stuff will get harder as I go on, but it wasn't awful, and I figured out a great way to manage it. I'm gonna be honest, I love online school. So as much as I want things to go back to normal, I'd love to be able to like be in LA/on campus, but have online classes, because I love the fact that you don't have to wake up, put clothes on, and walk across campus.
Sure.
I love the fact that you can. I've been driving in my car to go do something for work and still been listening in class. I love it. Not having to turn the camera on, that mute button, all of it. And I just think it makes stuff so much easier. So I had a great time, honestly.
What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in finance, so in the College of Business Administration.
So is music and like the entertainment industry something you want to pursue in the future? Is that like your ultimate like career goal?
Yes, and LMU is a huge entertainment school, as you know, but they specialize in like film and TV and don't really have business programs, which sucks because we're actually trying to petition for it like now. I'm pretty sure like there's been a petition that the Music Business Association or organization, MISO, or yeah, MISO at LMU has been trying to like get through like we need a music business minor because there's not that. So there was even like a moment where I was considering like transferring to USC, but not because I didn't love LMU, but only just because they have a music business program. But then I realized like if I'm just doing internships and stuff and like majoring in business, I should be fine, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I know you also work with Sony Music U. What is that and what's your role?
So Sony Music U is a college marketing program. The three big music companies are Universal Music Group, Warner Music Group, and Sony Music Group.
Mhm.
And basically, each of those music companies have a bunch of subsidiaries that are the record labels. So Sony has Epic and Columbia. A lot of people may have heard of those. And basically, each of those programs has a college marketing rep program because we are the ones that are supposed to market the music and connect to the 18 through 24 market the best because we're in those college towns. So basically, I'm to work with students from LMU, Pepperdine, UCLA, and USC, and I guess some Cal States and stuff like that that are around the LA area to just connect the artists that are assigned to the different labels under Sony to that market. So usually when stuff isn't in COVID, I haven't even had that experience yet since I'm a freshman and I like started my first semester freshman year.
Mhm.
But like we will if the artist goes on tour and has a concert in our city, we'll go and we'll like interview the different like college students who went there and like interview the fans, see how they liked it and stuff like that. We'll host different like events on campus and stuff and like cool exclusive stuff. um, we'll pull up like stands, give merch out, like all types of stuff normally, but right now it's a lot of just digital content. Yeah.
Has your connections that you've made at Sony Music U helped you with Intersect Magazine in any way?
um Not my connections, I don't think, because hold on, let me see. Hmm. Not really. Yeah, not my connections yet, because like like no one has like started working for like Intersect or like helped Intersect, but there I think it helps with connections in general. So in a way, if it helps in connections in general with music, then it will pay off to like whatever you build, you know what I mean? Because I've met super cool people, and like even though we don't really know each other, because typically every year Sony like flies us out to New York and we do a weekend at their office and we have fall forum. Fall forum was on Zoom this year. And typically during that weekend, like we bond and like meet each other. But like I have my like few Instagram people that we comment on all each other's stuff and support each other. We got a new internship, this, that. Because it's a lot of like hustlers. It's a lot of people who are like really young and like are just next up in music. And that's with all three of the college marketing programs because Warner and Universal have them too. And so just for us to like know each other and just support what each other are doing, it's big. Cause like yesterday I posted like, ooh, like new merch coming for Intersect Magazine, da, 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 and like
Mhm.
three people from Sony that like we comment on each other's stuff, like of course reposted it and everything. So in that way, yeah. And it's like something big is like the connections that I'm making with like my peers there, like will be super duper important because like we'll all be in different places in music probably.
So I also know that you have an internship with 10K Projects. What have you been doing in that internships? What have you gotten to like work on in that?
Yeah, so I sound like an NDA, so I can't say like a
Oh.
lot. I think I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I can't say a lot, but I think I can say like the tasks that I've done. So I do a lot of like lyric transcribing.
Mhm.
So that's kind of what I was talking about, where like for a project you'll literally have to listen to the song and like write all the lyrics so that like Genius and like Apple and like all of them can have them. Um,
Mhm.
that's like a typical weekly thing. A lot of like tedious stuff because it's necessary, but it's like good to learn. I do a lot of budgeting and like invoices and stuff like that. Um, what else? I do a lot of like shipping stuff out and like shipping merch and dealing with that and like talking to managers to get that out. There's definitely more sending emails, organizing. It's a lot of that type of stuff. So it's not like, ooh, I came up with this super crazy marketing plan. Oh, something really nice though that I think I can talk about. Me and the other intern, Jake, shout out Jake, he goes to USC. He's like my favorite person ever. But we were the people that kind of like put together the Thanksgiving fund or whatever, for like the 10K Together fund, which is just for like Black people after the Black Lives Matter movement. We put a certain amount of money aside to like give, and we gave food to Watts Community Center or Watts Empowerment Center in Los Angeles, and they gave food out on Thanksgiving. So that was super cool, and like we kind of put that together. So that was a cool project, yeah. But I love them there. I love 10K. It's a very family-like community, and I think it was like the best first record label experience that I could have had, because it's just like, it's smaller, it's growing, and it's just a lot of people who really like know what they're talking about and like don't put me down and my ideas down.
That's amazing. Okay, so I have one last question, which is, what is your favorite song at the moment?
At the moment, okay, I'm going nap music. Oh, I know what it is. It's Inhale by Bryson Tiller. That's my favorite song right now. I love that song. It was on his last project that he dropped called Anniversary.
Yes, I love Bryson Tiller. Gosh.
Yes, that was that.
So I want to thank you so much, Drew, for coming on this podcast and talking with me today. This was such a great conversation, and I learned so much about Intersect Magazine and everything else that you do, which is really, really amazing. And you can now like use this time to shout out your social media and let people know where to find you and Intersect Magazine. All that.
Got it. I just want to say that you did a phenomenal job also, and like what you're doing is super great, and like it's just keep working, because it's gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger and just pay off. But yeah, follow us on Instagram at Intersect Magazine, and my personal Instagram is Drew Townsel, and then you can check out Intersect Magazine's website, intersectmagazine.com.
Yay! So I want to thank you all so much for listening. You might be watching this on our YouTube channel or listening to us on our podcast. You can listen to more podcast episodes on Spotify or Apple Podcasts if you search Kaleidoscope Teen Radio, or on our YouTube channel, Kaleidoscope Teen Magazine. Please make sure you're subscribed to our online magazine, podcast, and follow us on Instagram at Kaleidoscope Teen. All of our social media links and Drew's social media links will be in the description box. Bye.
Bye.
Yay.
Bye.
Thank you. That's all I got.
You have to add that.
Yeah, I'll add it.